So let's start a new project. In the course materials for this chapter, you will find this folder, week budget, and we're gonna open this into Visual Studio Code, open the index, right click and open this with Live Server. So this is going to be the interface for this project. You can see we have my weekly budget app, and you can add your expenses here on the left, and here we have the list. We're gonna have a list with all the expenses, also the budget and the money that is left from this budget. So let's take a look at the HTML. You can see, for example, we have this form. It has this ID, add expense. Then we have a form group, and we have the name with the expense, and then the amount of money, and this button. Then we have this secondary, and here we have the list, and we have the expenses. Right here is going to be the list, and also a div with the budget and the money that is left from this budget once we start adding more and more expenses. This one, the second one, is going to be updated. In the last project that we developed, we created everything using prototypes. Then we moved everything into classes. This chapter or this project is going to be made using classes from the beginning. So let's open this, and I'm gonna open the JS folder. I'm gonna open app.js, and we're gonna create 3 sections. We're gonna call these variables, and I'm gonna call another one called classes right here. So we're gonna have classes, variables, and at the bottom we are going to have the event listeners. So event listeners, like this. So first we're gonna select the form. You can see, I'm gonna close this. You can see that we have this form that is called add expense. So we're gonna open the app.js, and I'm gonna create a new const variable. We're gonna call this one add expense form is going to be equals to document query selector, and I'm gonna add expense. So then on the event listeners, I'm gonna create a function. Event listeners, like this, and we're gonna execute this function like this. And the first event listener that we're going to listen is going to be the expense form, but also DOM content loaded. So we're gonna create both. We're gonna create add expense form, add event listener, and it's going to be submit, and we're gonna pass the event, and right here I'm gonna add ePrevent default. So this is going to listen for all the submissions. Right here I'm gonna create another one. I'm gonna add something like document add event listener. This is going to be DOM content loaded, and it's going to be a function like this. And first, when this page loads, we're gonna print a prompt window. So right here on the variables, I'm gonna create 2 variables, budget and user budget. So they are global because they are going to be available in all the program. So finally, before we finish, I'm gonna add app init right here, and this is going to be when a new expense is added. So right here we're gonna add this variable user budget. It's going to be equals to prompt, and I'm gonna add single quotes. I'm gonna add what, and I'm gonna escape the single quote. What's your budget for this week? And that value from the prompt is going to be assigned into the user budget. And this will ask the visitor the weekly budget, like this. So save this. You can see it's going to print, it's going to display what's your budget. So something here, for example, if you left this empty and you click OK, it's going to grab that value. So we're gonna validate the user budget, and it's going to be like this. We're gonna add if the user budget is equals to null if they don't add anything, or the user budget, we're gonna add like this. And I'm gonna show you why I'm adding different events or different comparisons. So if the budget is null, we're gonna add window, that location, that reload. And this is going to load this part again until the person adds a budget. So open the app, and if we click here on cancel, this is going to be a null, and it's going to reload the window. You can see it's asking again, cancel again, and you can see that it will reload the page and it's going to ask again. If you click here on OK, you are going to submit this as an empty string. So we're going to add something like, or the user budget is equals to nothing. Also is going to reload. Now if you click here on cancel, it's going to reload. If you click on OK and you didn't add anything, it's going to reload again. Finally, if you add a budget of 0, it's going to allow you. So we're going to add another or, user budget is equals to 0. Then it's going to reload again. So if you click on cancel, if you click on OK, or if you submit a 0, this is going to continue asking to add a budget. So let's say that we add 500, and now you can see that we can access this app. So this part is done. In the next video, we're gonna continue working with the else statement. So let's continue working in the next video.